disclosure is a process. It basically focuses on revealing to the general public what is the truth behind extraterrestrial life.
Disclosure, as it's defined in the activist advocacy work that I'm involved in, is very specific. It has a capital D, and it is the formal acknowledgement of the extraterrestrial presence by the governments of the world, starting likely with a single government breaking the ice.
Disclosure really means for me the formal announcement by governments of the world that we are not alone.
The disclosure of the extraterrestrial presence on Earth just means sharing whatever available, credible evidence there is of that reality with the general public.
Disclosure will have a tremendous effect on everyday life. The minute they release free energy, which is basically the propulsion systems of the ET craft, there will be an abundance of water. They'll be able to desalinate the sea. They'll have fresh water. Fresh water will be less to fight about. You'll be able to plant crops in the desert. It will lead to so much food. It will lead to new technologies. And as an interesting byproduct, of course, is anti-gravity.
Disclosure event is so massive. It's the biggest paradigm shift in social science, political, you name it. I mean, it's the biggest in history. Impossible to predict.
That will enrich our own culture, provide us access to new technologies, which inevitably leads to more jobs, an enriched economy, and everything we know about life will simply expand.
It will open up the universe. It will change our awareness and our attitude about everything. It will be an incredible moment in human history.
We are going to start to examine our own structures to the very core. We're going to examine our economic structure, our religious structures. We're going to look at our society and how we teach our children, even how we exchange goods and service, because as we start to interact with other cultures and see other potentials, other ways of doing things that are more harmonious, we will be inspired to do better.
Well, exopolitics is all about the study of the public policy implications of extraterrestrial life.
Exopolitics means an academic study of the extraterrestrial presence on Earth and its political as well as sociological implications.
There's so much information that's coming forward at this point, and exopolitics represents the whistleblowers, the personal accounts, the eyewitness testimony.
And exopolitics is about acknowledging that what was once secret is now true, and it's an academic subject. It's also a personal subject. It's a movement. It's something that people care passionately about.
Well, it's not so much exopolitics facilitates disclosure. The disclosure process is something that comes under exopolitics. The disclosure movement comes under exopolitics. And it's one small component of it. Exopolitics will eventually come to include galactic diplomacy, or treaties and relationships with other civilizations. But right now it refers to things such as the government actions and the government positions, the truth embargo, how people are dealing with the issue. And within the field of exopolitics, there is an advocacy movement called the Disclosure Movement. And that movement, obviously, if it succeeds in getting disclosure, will certainly cement the concept, the field of exopolitics, once and for all, as part of human society.
We may be a pain in the neck to disclosure. So as far as, from one point of view, we could be seen as threatening those powers that want to keep a secret. With the other point of view, people like Michael Sala and Jeff Peckman and even Stephen Bassett present such a powerful argument, and they are so logical and so well documented that it could be seen as facilitating the truth.
Exopolitics builds up a huge cannonball of consciousness which will bash down the shadow government's Berlin Wall. This will finally lead to a planetary voice where all humans will be represented by consensus. In such a state, the ETs would recognize us as a civilized society and would be welcomed into the galactic family.
It's funny, when you said that right away, I thought, gee, were we ready to go to the moon? Were we as a people ready to go to the moon? And I have to say that some of us were more ready than other people. I mean, some people were saying, oh, this is a waste. NASA's just a waste of money, and why are we doing this? And then some people were like, oh my golly, I want to grow up and be an astronaut. And other people probably didn't even pay any attention to any of the space launches. So I would imagine that the disclosure phenomenon is going to be pretty similar. I think some people are going to be very critical of it. Some people are going to be so excited they can't wait to get involved in the movement, and I hope that happens to a large degree. And some people are going to ignore it. That's what I think our readiness is.
My personal opinion is that we are coming closer every day to being ready for disclosure. The reason that disclosure has not happened yet is because the consciousness of the majority of people on this planet would have been too strongly adversely affected. It would have shifted people's realities in such a dramatic way that I think it would not have been a positive.
There was a very important poll by the National Geographic in 2005, and that showed that 72% of people that were sampled on the question of how would you respond to extraterrestrial life, to the discovery of extraterrestrial life, 72% said that they would be optimistic and hopeful. And I think that's a very important statistic. That shows that more than 2/3 of the American public is really ready for extraterrestrial disclosure. They're ready for what is life out there. And that same poll showed that only 9% were fearful, anxious about the disclosure of extraterrestrial life.
So do I think it's ready? I think some people are. I think the young people are. I think the children are ready. I mean, they certainly have been, they've been schooled in it from the media and everything. But I'm not sure that the entire population of the planet is ready.
There's two recommendations that I would have for helping, at least in the United States. One is to go to extracampaign.org and push a button that says how to file a ballot and how to start a ballot initiative, because that's the way that people can pass laws irrespective of the elected officials. And one of those laws could be just to require disclosure of this information to the general public. And the other would be to find some occasion, some opportunity to write articles about what you know and try to get that into the mainstream news in any way that you can.
I think people can help with the disclosure process by really just telling as many people as they know about what they have found in their own research, in their own investigations. I think disclosure is very much a process. It's a social process in many ways. That is educating people. One of the themes of this International UFO Congress is educating people about UFOs one person at a time. And I think that's very wise, that we really need to do this with each person going out there, telling loved ones, telling friends what they know about extraterrestrial life. And even though there are challenges in doing that, sometimes one has to face ridicule and skepticism, but nevertheless, the more people that are prepared, the better for what lies ahead, because I think the information, when it is released in an official way, will come out very, very quickly and just overwhelm people's capacity to understand and digest it all.
It's very, very, very important that everybody gets together and is open about the fact that there's an extraterrestrial presence. It shouldn't come as a surprise, and we should not ridicule others. This is another very, very important fact. Stop the ridicule, stop laughing, get down and research and read. All the information about the extraterrestrial presence is in our libraries, it's on the internet, and people can access it quite freely.